Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's press briefing. The Chief Executive will first speak before answering questions. Because of the infection situation, please maintain social distancing as well as wear your mask. Use the microphone when you ask to facilitate interpretation. Let's first hear from the Chief Executive. Good morning, everyone. Last Wednesday, in Shenzhen, there was the celebration ceremony for the establishment of the Shenzhen Special Economic Zone 40th anniversaries. I noticed that there has been a lot of discussions about the development of Hong Kong and Shenzhen. They are good because Shenzhen is our neighbor. These two places are very important cities for our country. The discussions center on Hong Kong's position in the further integration of our economy. There are three different stances and attitudes. There is one side that says that Hong Kong is lagging behind. Some put it to the extreme that there aren't many opportunities for Hong Kong because Hong Kong doesn't have much competitiveness and will only lag behind further. The second school of thought is that Hong Kong's position will remain unchanged. The third school of thought is that the two places have their own advantages that can complement one another for synergy and mutual success. Well, I incline towards the third school of thought. We all have our respective advantages. Hong Kong has our history, our advantages. We have a long history and rich experience in liaising with the rest of the world. There are a lot of bilateral agreements signed by Hong Kong and other places. And Hong Kong has participated in a lot of international organizations. However, when it comes to competitiveness, we have always have to try to strive to move forward. Otherwise, we will lag behind. So we have to maintain our competitiveness. In relation to Shenzhen, well, with the country's opening up and reform, it has made a lot of miracles. There are a lot of things we can learn from Shenzhen. We can work with Shenzhen to create a dual city economy. We can both act as a dual engine to drive the development in the Greater Bay Area. When it comes to further integration of Hong Kong into the national economic development, we always talk about the Greater Bay Area. And in this area, Hong Kong is closest to Shenzhen. At around end of May, about 160,000 Hong Kong residents have obtained a resident permit to live in Guangdong. About 1/3 of them live and work in Shenzhen. To this date, the number of Hong Kong enterprises in Shenzhen stands at 80,000, accounting for as high as 85% of a foreign capital investment. And in terms of volume, is about 80% in terms of a foreign investment amount. This is a very high percentage. Hong Kong people live and work in Shenzhen and our companies operate there. It means that there will be a lot of opportunities for further cooperation between the two places. So I asked mainland policy bureaus to do something about the announcement, the 27 suggestions in the pilot scheme and the recently announced initiatives for further integration. There should be more research done in this regard to see where we can cooperate. Well, apart from investment, commerce, manufacturing and export, we have opportunities in tertiary education sectors, high-end healthcare, as well as arts and culture. We can work together with Shenzhen to scale new heights. Now I'll move on to the infection situation of COVID-19. In the past week, we see the further easing of the infection situation. The number of confirmed cases, especially in relation to local confirmed cases, has been dropping. In the past week, there has been 12 confirmed cases. There hasn't been any emergence of new clusters. For a row of 3 days, there has been no local confirmed case of unknown source. That's why the daily briefing at 4:30 has not been convened for 3 days. In the next stage, we will have to do something about enhancing the flow of people across the border, so we don't have the condition to further relax social distancing measures. Today is Tuesday. There will be a discussion by EXCO. In the afternoon, the Secretary will make announcement about social distancing measures at the next stage. In general, there won't be significant relaxation in relation to the number of people allowed in a group, or in relation to mass gathering at economic activities. Let's say, for example, wedding ceremonies. I'm not talking about wedding banquet. Wedding ceremonies, local tours, whether local tours can be organized when the infection situation can be effectively put under control. You will hear about it in the afternoon. In relation to other matters, travel bubbles, last week you have heard that we have reached an agreement to launch travel bubbles with Singapore. We hope that it will be implemented as soon as possible. We have treaded very carefully in this regard. We have built a lot of infection control measures. Turning to the mainland, we are still working on it. We hope that there will be mutual exemption of a 14-day quarantine for both sides when conditions have been met, or to allow Hong Kong residents to return to Hong Kong from the mainland without having to go through the 14-day quarantine. So you can rest assured that there may be good news.
Now open for the questions, and please speak through the microphone and state the media represent. TV News. In your interview by the press, you mentioned that it's hard to identify land for sites. So when you will actively revoke the land resumption ordinance to get more land, and how do you cope with the potential judicial challenges? And the policy address seems to be postponed. And when do you fly to Beijing to lobby the ministries for more pro-Hong Kong measures? And would the policy address be further postponed?